Hi, Daddy.
You were supposed to call me when you land.
There's someone here.
What?
Oh my God, they got Amanda. Dad, they're coming.
All right, listen to me. Go to the next bedroom. Under the bed. Tell me when you're there. Now, the next part is very important. They're going to take you.
The movie Taken has everything to do with trafficking and not just an action movie. We're here with Anne Abok, and thank you for being with us. You work with MICAT,
Yes.
and you work with human trafficking victims,
Yes.
especially from Nigeria.
Yes.
Why is Nigeria so influenced, has so much influence from Nigeria in the trafficking industry? Why so many Nigerians?
I think, first of all, we just need to know that Nigerians are very courageous people. Nigerians are very enterprising. Nigerians are people that love to do things and do it thoroughly. So if a thing like human trafficking comes on board, which is a big money spinner, you would expect Nigerians to be interested in something like that. So don't create something which will not benefit the public, because if Nigerians find that out, they will use it and use it badly.
And they use it badly. Even in Nigeria, there are, you say, churches, fake churches, involved in trafficking.
Yes, it was a big surprise when we were trying to uncover the whole problem of human trafficking, and we started to discover that even some fake churches were part of the problem. And you would ask me why churches, because Nigeria, we're very religious, and people respect religious leaders. So if you want to have an authority over someone's life, you just need to hide behind religion. And absolutely nobody questions religion. So that's why some fake pastors who are actually interested in making money use this hospice of a church to get involved in human trafficking.
So they do the whole trafficking agenda, but they also play church?
Yeah, they do. They actually play church. It's like an act for them. They put it on as an act. But what they actually do is sometimes they work with the traffickers, and they are the ones that come and while they're playing church, they announce that God is going to bless you. I'm praying for you for a miracle to go to Europe. You will get visas. You know, these are the kind of prophetic atmospheres they stir up. And the members are people who are desperate for a better life. So they hear that, and the pastor says, you just need to bring an offering. You know, things like that is such an act they put up. And the people come up, and sometimes the fake pastors even buy underwears. They pray over them, they anoint them, and they say that the girls, when they buy them, they can go to Europe and have sex with multiple men. They will not have HIV or AIDS. And they can also be protected from the police. They will not be arrested. And also they would
with this
have...
special underwear.
With this special underwear, but they need to buy it from them, you see. And also they
And then they will get the ones that are interested.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
yeah.
they will single them out.
And of course, they know there's a market because they know that the traffickers already have women they have captured. So they just need to help drive the message home to give the girls a false sense of protection, which the girl desperately needs at that time. But for him, he gets his money. And even when the girl comes to Europe, he stays in touch with her. So she sends tithe to his church. So sometimes in Benin City, they call those kind of funny pastors, fake pastors, they call them Italian churches, because they know that he thrives on the proceeds of money sent from Europe by the victims of human trafficking. And they even do freedom parties. When the girl has finally, because he tells the girl, I'm going to be praying for you. So sometimes you find the girls are so attached to these people, but the girls have not changed their lifestyle. He's praying for them. Every time, okay, how many years do you have to finish? You're going to work hard. You're going to pay your madam. Your clients will favor you. They will keep giving you money. Whoever you sleep with, you must be attached to you. He must give you money. And then when they finish paying the debt, they call it debt bondage, where they have to pay the madam, you know. Then the pastor now says, now we can celebrate your freedom. And he invites the family of this victim. She might be in Europe, but she sends some money for that celebration. They have a big celebration. This is what happening in the fake churches.
Wow, and so many of them come here, I mean the Nigerians. Ole Fredrik Gundersen, you are helping Anne and Alex in Norway, and you are cooperating with them in this work.
Yes.
You've been to Nigeria,
Yes.
you've seen this thing happen, you've been working with them for many years, and you even go to the streets praying for them here. Tell me about your experience.
My experience is that this is very difficult. They are born to this oath, and they are afraid because of the spiritual thing, and they are also mixing because of the church. They are mixing with God and the devil. They know that God is doing great things, but they also know that the devil is doing great things. So they think that they are compared to each other. They don't know that God is the creator. So it's very difficult to get them out of this.
But you go to the streets and you pray for them, and you pray for all kinds of people on the street because you have an own ministry for that. But of all of the people you pray for in the streets, how many are Nigerians?
I think it's about 80%.
And you've prayed for how many during the years?
I prayed for girls regularly on the street in 10 and a half years old, and I prayed for 15,000 girls.
And most of them are Nigerians?
Most of them are Nigerians, and I have spoken with a lot of more. I know many girls are calling me from Italy and Spain and France and even Nigeria for prayer.
And today we met a girl who said she was actually out of the street because of his prayer. He prayed for her and encouraged her, and that prayer gave her the courage to come off the street, and she's Nigerian.
But let's dwell on that a little bit. Just to get them off the street is not the solution.
No, it's just a step.
What is the best way to help them?
Wow, best way to help them, I think if we want to focus on helping, we should give it our best. And this is how we must do it. We must be open to options. Because when you look at the options around helping, they're very, very dicey. It looks very, like he said, it looks very, very difficult, but we must still help. So if you want to help the girl from the street, first of all, take her off the street, but you have to be aware of her background. She's there because she's been forced to. She's there because of satanic powers that are keeping her. She may not speak against those powers because if she opens up to tell you everything that she's done or who has put her there, her life will be in danger. Not just her life, but also the life of her family. And she has taken this oath, this satanic oath, because she believes that she can work, sell her body, and give the money to her family for them to have a better life. So she sees herself as a sacrificial lamb. So you need to know the context when you say, I want to help you. So now this is the girl, you want to help her, you take her off the street, then now she has nothing. Her life doesn't even belong to her. It's tied up somewhere. You need to take her through the process and now see, okay, she needs to be protected because the madam, and you know the thing is the police here cannot help her unless she speaks out. She speaks up against the madam, which is it's like asking her to sign her death sentence. Because
they have written the oath and taken the whole voodoo session not to do that.
Yes. So, but if she dares to do it, it's like signing up her life. So you have to be aware of that. So this is a time bomb waiting to explode in your hands. So would you now at that point dump her, which we've seen? They take them from the street, or people like Ole's ministry, they take her from the street, and then maybe they're trying to help her reintegrate in this society, but things don't look good. She cannot have a future.
But even here, being here, if the madam is still here, that's a big risk.
Most times the madam is still here, but it doesn't matter where the madam is. What matters is the madam has networks. So she can be here physically, she's got people in Benin City. The first instance that brought the girl out was even through the networks of the madam. So she can hear, she can breathe, and they feel the breath in Benin City.
And there are stories that they have seen them here, they have found them here, even though they live secretly.
Exactly. So she has the powers to destroy her family, and she knows that's the best way to get to the victim.
And then they will probably come back to her.
That is the idea, for the madam to put her through so much stress that she has to come back to her. And what the madam is interested in is keeping the secret and paying me the money. She says, my money. And
so what should be done by the authorities here when a woman is pulled off the streets? They do that today, but they deport them as quickly as possible. They
deport them as quickly as possible, and we are here to say that's not the best way. You know, as a matter of fact, we should be saying deport them because we have a safe house in Nigeria and want to fill it up and have numbers, but that's not the way, to be honest. A girl just needs to be assisted, and you need to know that this is a problem that it's beyond the Nigerian government. It's beyond. It's all of us that need to come. Take the girl out, find protection for her and her family. So when you get the madam, who really must be prosecuted, let the madam know that if anything, even a threat goes to the family of this girl and we get the report, you will go down for it. And it has to be followed through. I think they're
So there has to be closer follow-up.
Close follow-up. And because for too long, for years, working in this field, every single time the madam is close to being nabbed, then something happens. The victim will have to withdraw the case because she's killed. The madam has killed her family in Benin City. Or the madam is under arrest, but because she's connected to some authority somewhere, she gets released. So tell me, what would be the future of these girls when that is the reality? If I was the girl, I would not speak up, because then I don't have anyone helping. In Nigeria, we do not have policies that will protect the families of the victims. So constantly these girls are running away from the madam. So the best thing, if you take them from the street and you deport them to Nigeria, this is what you're saying. I'm telling you to take a break from trafficking and come back again to the streets. That's basically the statement. That is the truth. But if you take them off the street, you go through the process, give it your best, track down the madam, tell her you're aware of her network, she has to produce the network, if not, she goes down for it. I like what they do in South Africa. If you're caught in trafficking, life sentence. You know, so where will she come out to go and do threats? And if the victims know that they're more comfortable, then they can open up to the police. But I find the police here all the time hitting hard on the victims and saying they're not telling the truth, then we're not going to help them, we'll just deport them. That is rubbish. From the human rights point of view, that is not acceptable. And I know that, yes, and hear my heart, people look down on Nigerians because of the things we've done or the things we are still doing, but we are still human. We are still human. Our country doesn't protect us, then it doesn't mean the international community shouldn't protect us. That is stereotyping. Some of these people, when they come off the street, they end up being the best resource you can have in your country. But why treat them like that? And I speak like that because I'm a filmmaker and I've seen how people have interacted with our films. I made some of those films because that was my passion, to open the eyes of people in Europe to see the background of these girls. Because enough of maltreating them like that on the street, like they don't exist. When people engage with this film, some people were in tears and they came to me and said, Anne, we are sorry. We didn't treat Nigerian women well. We judged them wrongly. And this is the message I'm passing out. Enough of saying, okay, we take Nigerian girls and dump them in Nigeria, deport them. We don't even see them when they come, because in the end they get re-trafficked.
And what you told me earlier, and I want to talk to Ole Fredrik about this, is the fact that you make them, the women aware, the men and the women, the people of Nigeria, aware that there is no shining mirror that you will have a good life in Europe. So Ole Fredrik, you've been there, you've been telling them, you've been teaching them how you see them who are actually here working on the streets. Tell me the responses, tell me how it was.
Yeah, it's in Nigeria, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good, but because I tell them how difficult it is, how cold it is, but it's a little difficult to make them understand the cold of Norway. But I tell them that. And
you put them in a refrigerator?
He actually uses that analogy. The freezer, the no deep freezer.
Yeah.
But you go there and they listen to you and they want to learn that, you know, it's not the way that they are perceived to be.
Yeah, and I tell them that there are lonely streets, there are drunk old men, the customers is not nice young men at their same age. So it's important because they don't know that. They think that, yeah.
And this awareness is an important thing of what you do.
Yes, it's huge importance, because the thing is with Nigerians, even if they know that you've just come out of Nigeria, you've gone abroad, they want to listen to you.
They want to
listen to you. I mean, we live in South Africa.
So if a Nigerian comes back home and claims to have fame,
they believe it.
They will have a platform for everybody.
Yes, and then you can even traffic anyone you want to traffic. So then that's even you, a Nigerian, going abroad. But if someone from a foreign country now comes, he already has an audience. I mean, he knows. They will be looking at him like this, you know. And people want to listen. So that is effective. So that's why we use all these outlets that we know our people want.
And that's why you want partners.
That's
so
why
they can come and show them from all countries of Europe, say them, no, they're here, they're living miserable lives. Don't listen to the traffickers, and there is no
better life
on the other side.
On the other side.
But when you do this, back in Nigeria, you get support? I mean, financial support?
We do not have support from Nigeria at all.
So we should help you. I mean, you need the help from Europe.
Yeah, that's the point, because at this point we know that it's not just our problem. It's our problem. It's not just Nigerian problem. And we are willing to do prevention. You cannot come to Nigeria and do prevention, but you can come like he does with us and be on our platform. We go there together.
That you give him.
Yes, the platform that we can
listen
give.
To this.
Yes. And then we go in there together, but in the end we'll do the follow-up, we'll know the dynamics of our people, the nuances of our culture. We can tell, we can interpret the signs and sounds and everything. We can know when the change is happening. But we need the push and the support from our West. This is how human trafficking works. The traffickers from Nigeria are also connected to people in Europe. And that's why they thrive. So if we want to counter it, we need to go back again, use the same system, get anti-traffickers from Nigeria and anti-traffickers from Europe, from Norway. We really want to do more things with Norway, like what we're doing with Denmark. You know, our project has come so far now that we're thinking, or we're moving towards having an international conference in Nigeria, where we have our stakeholders and 16 members of the parliament from Denmark coming to Nigeria. Because most of these things I want to say, and not just me, that we all collectively want to say, we cannot just say it in a space like this. We need the key people to come together, meet key people in Nigeria, and let's have one system together where we can talk, share ideas, and discuss these things. Issues of policies that don't allow proper support for the victims of trafficking from Nigeria in Norway, those are very serious issues. And we understand it won't be easy for Norwegian authorities to change them overnight. But when we come into an advocacy conference like we do, and like what we're going to do with Denmark, that is a good space to talk about these issues and see areas that we, not just Norwegian government, but Nigerian government really need to address things properly.
So starting in the wrong end would be legalizing prostitution. That would be starting in the totally wrong end.
Oh my goodness, that is so wrong. You know, the one reason why we flew into Norway in 2011, when we were filming in Denmark, we were invited to the parliament, right? And we had a meeting at the parliament, and we were actually so excited about the Nordic model, where you don't legalize prostitution, but at the same time, you can prosecute the buyers. That was awesome. At least for the first time, we thought someone is doing something to the buyers of sex. Because I don't know for how long the world has just been thinking in a way as if we are just dumb. How can you say you're fighting human trafficking and you were trying to arrest the girls and you leave the buyers? How can you kill a market when the demand is there? There has to be supply. And then the supply will be under the carpet. You don't see it. But now, if you say, okay, let's legalize prostitution, hello. As the countries that have legalized prostitution, we just came and were speaking at a meeting, State of Europe Forum in Amsterdam. And there we had really key stakeholders, talking about the countries that legalize prostitution, how they are lamenting now. So is that what you want? You cannot.
Do you flirt with all your customers like
I'd
this?
like to earn my own money.
Okay, wait.
Who do you think you are?
I used to make that kind of money in 4 days.
Victor! Please open, baby. Victor!
How can we help them? What would be the best way to prevent it? Because you talk about prevention. You're not talking about just making awareness. You're talking about preventing it.
Yes.
And how tight must we clinch this thing to make it?
Honestly speaking, prevention, I really believe prevention is better than cure. If we really do good work in prevention, we will not have to suffer the things we're suffering now. What he said is very difficult. Prevention, awareness is just part of it. But the prevention is really to focus time, expertise, energies, funds on this one issue of seeing that mindsets are changed. You know, the problem of human trafficking, everyone says it's poverty that is the root cause. But I say it's beyond poverty of resources. It's poverty of values. And if you want to do prevention, you have to go to the value system of the Nigerian. We have to change our set of glasses, how we see the world and how we see God. We have to change it completely, and it doesn't take one event or one activity. I think I'm willing to give my life for that.
Because you're saying the girls that do this, they don't have a self-value. They don't have they don't see themselves as created by God. They see, I have to.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
We want to be Jesus. Jesus died for you already. That needs to be changed. The worldview needs to change.
So a revival is actually
Revival is also part of it. You know, revival, when you bring a revival and awakening, then maybe the values will awake as well.
Amen.
You know, but then you cannot do without the church. You cannot. So prevention, you have to go to the stakeholders. You know, it's the different spheres of influence in society. Those are the spheres we try to tackle. Family, education. I mean, we are already in media, so we can use our networks and stuff. Religion, church, you know, and other spheres of society to really make sure that we work together to do this prevention. We can only say that now we've done a work of prevention because every activity we do, every awareness event we do, we take statistics. We check out the level of change of perception. So we have to get to that point where maybe that would be a dream. When you come to Nigeria and you see that 99.9% of the population said, when a trafficker comes, I know the signs. And I will say no.
That would be a dream.
That would be a dream.
And that's
if that
what you're
happens,
working against.
That's what we're working for, yes. Really, so that those 80% of the illegal African prostitutes who are selling their bodies in Europe that come from Benin City, they must change to become 80% of the people that come out of Nigeria.
But if you close let's say you close the access for the women in Nigeria, the whole market will collapse.
Of course, it has to collapse. It has to collapse. And that's what we want. We want to end human trafficking. We want to end modern day slavery. We want to kill the market completely. That's what we want to do. We want to be out of business. We don't want to be having media campaign against human trafficking. We want to change our ministry name. That's a dream.
Thank you so much for coming. This was very educational. And hopefully I'll see you again. Good luck with the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We miss you. Oh, hey, Reed. Come say hi to Amber.
I used to think trafficking didn't really exist.
It's important that we know who Amber hangs out with. We just always want to make sure that she's safe.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know you were friends with them. This is Tyler. He's gonna be our driver tonight.
I was hoping that you could come with me.
She has never done this before.
If she hasn't turned up by tomorrow, we'll file the paperwork and we'll start a search.
I'm Heather Hayes. As you know, we've been following the heartbreaking story of missing teenager Andrew Stevens.
You leave, because I let you.
No one ever wakes up thinking they'll be kidnapped. This shouldn't happen here. Darkness. Monsters. I can't close my eyes or cover my ears anymore.
Stop! Please stop! You what?
I got nothing from the text.
You said it would be okay.
Why are you doing this? Where are you taking me?
I didn't know what was gonna happen to her, honest.
No! Mommy, no! No! Mommy, no!
I know my child.
Help me. We can go together.
Every life is worth saving.
Drew is lying.
Your last chance.
I'll kill you and your family.
We're gonna find her. We're gonna find her.